first thing that I want to tell you all is that I am a transgender woman. Sometimes I use the label non-binary, but today we're going to keep it simple. Let's just say woman. I don't think it's necessary or important or even that trans people should introduce themselves like this the moment they step on stage, but I do it today for two reasons. Firstly, if you look at the title, it's going to be quite relevant. The second reason is I actually have quite a large vocal range, and I like to warn people ahead of time. That way they don't get surprised when it shows up a little bit later in the talk. Okay, a couple of you look pretty surprised. I did try to warn you, right? With that, I'd love to start the talk by asking all of you, how many of you have heard the advice, just be yourself? Hands up. All right, now keeping your hands up, what do we think? Is this good advice, bad advice? Looking around, mostly good, some bad, some in the middle. Personally, I think it is the greatest piece of useless advice I've ever been given. Because it's good advice to be yourself, but you always get it at the most useless times. Say you're going for a party, job interview, first date, you're nervous. You ask your friend, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. I've never met this person before. And your friend says, babe, relax. Just be yourself. Duh, oh my God, right. Yeah, because I definitely know who myself is, Adoy. Or maybe you're in the camp that you kind of do know a little bit about yourself. And you're thinking like, oh yeah, just be myself, that person that I love. I love all those parts of myself. I'm just going to show those off to other people. I mean, you love all the different parts of yourself, right? Okay, maybe it's a little more complicated. See, for me, this whole identity question was always a little bit more complicated because I grew up as a Canwanese boy in a country called Singapore. And that was really complicated for identity because I wasn't from Singapore. I was from Canwan. And that's even more complicated because Canwan is not a real country. Canwan is what my parents used to tell me because I was half Canadian, half Taiwanese, born in Singapore. So I really had no idea what I was doing. And the thing is, when you're a kid and you don't know what you're doing, you ask your parents because your parents, they know everything. They went to parent school. They don't make mistakes. And so I'm saying, oh, people asking me who I am, just be myself. Mom, who am I? And my mom says things like, oh, you're so caring. You always take such great care of others, and you take that information and it's like a building block. And you start to build the tower of yourself. You're like, okay, I'll take that one. And you say, Mom, what else? I'm like, oh, you're so strong, you never cry. I'm like, okay, I can take that. What else? Oh, you're so smart, you always get good grades. I'm like, okay, yeah, I can do that forever, sure. What else, Mom? Oh, you're such a good boy. One day you're gonna be such an amazing man. I'm like, this one feels a bit weird, but you know what? You're a kid, you don't know any better. And if you're like me, you start building this tower for a while, and you start to notice that it gets a little shaky. For me, that was about 4 years ago, when I suddenly had this re-understanding of the word transgender, and that reshaped my entire understanding of myself, who I was, what I believed, and how I felt about that. And for me, I really wanted to come here and share that with all of you. I wanted to give you a little bit of some of the things that I've learned so that maybe I could help you if you're struggling with this concept of self, struggling to really be the person that you want to be, struggling to achieve some of your goals. And so I want to help you do that. I want to really help you be the person you want to be. And so we're going to get into it. We only have like 15 minutes of time. Step one is just to breathe. As you're breathing, try to feel any feelings that are coming up. Me, it was a little bit of anxiety. All right, I'm giving a TED Talk. That's normal, okay. It's really easy to get excited in this process, to want to go too fast, to want to be someone or do something, to chase your dreams, especially when you have loud, excited, fast-talking TED speakers being like, oh my God, you're going to change your entire life. You forget that the whole point is to be yourself, like here. Now. So just breathe. And now that we're ready and you're ready, that you can really follow everything I have to say today, step two is don't follow anything I have to say today. Because this is a talk about being yourself, and I'm sorry, I don't know you. I can tell you my story, I can tell you the things that worked for me, but at the end of the day, advice is not meant to be followed. It's meant to be listened to, tried on, and if it doesn't work for you, let it go. It's a lot like clothing. You know, you try it on, see if it fits, and if it doesn't fit, let it go. Some people look great in certain things. Billie Eilish, the oversized sweater, kills me. Scarecrow, garbage bag. It doesn't, you know, it just doesn't quite work. And that's okay. So if something you hear today, you want to try it, it doesn't work, that's okay. Don't be afraid to let it go. And so now, we are really ready to move forward to step 3. Step 3 is move backwards. Because how are you supposed to know where you are if you don't know where you've been? This is the part where you start to look at that tower of self that you've been constructing. Start to examine all the little pieces, all the things that people have told you, your parents, your friends, your teachers, your society. Oh, society tells us so much. And so much of it is really not helping. Like, you know, boys, don't cry. Girls, you are too emotional. You are too tall. You are too thin. You are too thick. You are too thin. You are too dark. You are too short. You're just... You know what? You don't go into arts because engineering is a better degree. Don't go into arts. Science is a better degree. Don't go into arts. Business is a better degree. You need to make money because money will make you successful, and success is important, and that's all that it is. Our current economic system is totally not destroying the planet. All of these things that we get told. You know, I wonder why everyone hates art so much. Which is why I think step 4 is you got to read more arts. Because this whole journey of getting to where you are, arts is the study of where we've been. How did we get here? Business, science, tech, these things are great, but it's all about the future, things going forward. But how did we get here? There's an asterisk to this, that is, if you are an arts student, you should probably also read other things. Because the important part here is just read things that you don't usually read. You need to start examining, how did other people build their towers? Start to compare, how did you build your own? Start to find the differences, different words, different labels, different ideas. And then, when you really start to break it down, you really start to understand all the differences, you start to see, maybe there's a lot of things that you've been telling yourself that just don't work. Things that haven't been making you happy. Things that haven't been making you happy for a while. Things that maybe you've been telling yourself for a really long time, maybe your entire life. Maybe you've been feeling like you're living your life and it's just been a lie the entire time, and then you get to step 5 and it's just like, I can't even do this anymore. It's really important at this step to just let it all out. You don't want to be like me, where you're like having the breakdown, but you're like, no, hold it together. Yeah, I can try being a boy for a little bit longer, and then a month later, it doesn't work. Don't be afraid of the floor. This is the best place for you to like really examine all of those broken pieces. The ones that you like, the ones that you don't. Keep the ones you like. The ones you don't, just throw them out. And then you can start building this tower of self with all of the pieces that you like, the ones that you want to keep, and then you'll find that you start building it, and you start building it, and it falls over. But that's okay, because it's a process, and you trust yourself now. So you start rebuilding it again, and you're building it up, and you're building it up, and it falls over again, but it's okay, because it's a process. You trust it. You build it up again, and it falls over, and you find that no matter how much you keep building it, it just keeps falling over, and you're starting to get a little worried, because like, I thought I was going to build this thing that I want. Isn't this the one I want to be? I want to be this person, and then you forget to breathe. You notice that we were doing it again? That like being someone, doing something. The truth is, when I started writing this talk, I loved this tower analogy. I thought it was beautiful. But as I kept writing it, it didn't hold together, right? It just kept falling apart. And that's when I realized that you actually don't get to choose a lot about yourself. You don't just get to throw away your experience. You don't just get to throw away your life. You don't just get to throw away your trauma. A lot of that stuff is so much more than the surface. A lot of it really gets buried deep beneath you. Like it gets so buried deep. It gets so buried deep that you need a new analogy. Step 7 is dig down. Don't build up. You need to dig. Find out what was underneath. It's not just the things you were told, but what was the meaning that you internalized beneath that? When someone told me, oh, you're so caring. What did I dig and I find out, like, what did I think? Oh, I'm only valuable when I'm not taking care of myself. Oh, you're so strong. What did I say? Oh, your vulnerability doesn't deserve care. You're so smart. You can always do better. Nothing I do now is ever good enough. And for me, the more I started digging down and finding new things about myself, the more I kept finding these same patterns of behavior. I would try, new jobs, new careers, new degrees, new genders, and it just felt like I kept repeating the same cycles of behavior. Is this just who I am? Am I just stuck in this person that I hate for the rest of my life? Like, this is just it? Is the world just... Then you just start to get really tired, and it's like, I'm done with this. I kind of just want to give up. Maybe the world is just doomed. Maybe this is just it. Maybe this is who I am. Maybe I should just dissociate from reality. Just stop. I can't do that. That would be such a bad way to end a TED Talk. Don't have long hair. I feel like I've made this talk really individualistic. I feel like I haven't talked a lot about help, as if this is a selfish process, as if you're not supposed to help others or others can't help you. Not true at all. You need help. You can't do this alone. If you are someone out there thinking about giving up, don't. Yeah, there's no funny one-liner to that, but just don't. Get help. Help from your friends, help from your community, help from professionals. The only reason I'm a little cautious about telling everyone to help everyone is because I think a lot of us actually don't know what help we need. And I think a lot of us are really, really, really bad at giving help. Have you ever been on an airplane and they say that thing, make sure you put your own oxygen mask before helping others? I have been on both sides of that equation. I have been the person dying to breathe, and I see someone with a mask. I'm like, oh my God, can you just tell me what to do? Like, can you just take care of me? Can you just validate me because I can't validate myself and just like take care of everything? And I don't realize that I'm taking away their capacity to breathe. And then I've been on the other side where I think I'm the strong one. And so I see everyone struggling, and I'm like, here, you take this, and you take this, and you take this. And that doesn't work either. For so long, I was using helping others as an excuse to run away from myself, run away from my problems. But I have to stop doing that. I have to stop running away. I need to start figuring out where are the boundaries of who I am, how much I need, so I know how much to give to others. I'll be honest with you, I don't know what step I'm on. I don't think there is a step-by-step process to this. I don't think there is one way to do it, and I don't think there needs to be, and I don't think it matters. I have been on this constant cycle of building up, and then knocking down, and then digging down, and then hating it, and then running away and being like, oh my God, I hate that, and then remembering to breathe. Remembering that it's okay to be scared. Remembering to celebrate progress. Because 4 years ago, the world felt like it was collapsing. And today, the world still feels like it's collapsing. But today compared to then, I feel like I've at least built just a little bit of solid ground underneath me. Because at least now I've learned how to love myself. Not just the parts that I like, but how to love the parts that I really don't. Because only when you love the parts that you really don't, that's only how you will find the accountability to give those things space, to let them heal, to let them grow, to find those boundaries. And with that, I hope that all of you have a really great day. And, oh my gosh. So, wait. Don't stop the camera. I just realized that I forgot to introduce myself. Sorry. Let's just do that. Hi, everyone. My name is Kai Sargeant. I use the pronouns she, her, or they, them. A little bit about myself. I love to cook. I also love to perform. I'm very dramatic, as you can see. I'm also highly introverted. Those two parts of myself really hate each other, but we somehow make it work. I'm a fifth-year student here at the UBC Sauder School of Business. I'm almost graduating with a degree in entrepreneurship and organizational behavior. And what I do professionally is I work in equity, diversity, and inclusion as a consultant and an educator, meaning I go into organizations like the school, professional corporations, nonprofits, and I help them build new ways of working, systems, teach about how do we create spaces where people can present as themselves authentically to support this wide range of diversity that we have in our human existence. Because at the end of the day, the thing that I love most is creating spaces for people where they can be themselves, or at least learn what that means to them. At least that's who I am today. Who knows who I'll be tomorrow, but I guess we'll see then. Thank you.